Let's continue with simplest radical form, worksheet 3. Well, this is the final worksheet, and by now you must have learned the technique. And the technique to simplify is factor with perfect square. That is the technique. So the technique is factor with perfect square. So that is what we are utilizing to simplify our radicals, right? So we have 4 of them here, and what you need to do is simplify the following radicals to the simplest form. Simplest form means that under the radical sign you should not have a number which has a factor with a perfect square. That is it, right? So copy these questions, pause the video, write on your answer, and then look into my solution. Okay, so let's begin with 27. So 27 is what? 9 times 3, right? And 9 is a perfect square. So we get 27 as square root of 9 times 3. Now 9 is a perfect square. You can write this as square root of 9 times square root of 3. And square root of 9, as you know, is 3. So we can write this as 3 square root of 3. So that is the simplest form of square root of 27, right? Can we simplify it any further? Not at all. Square root 3 is a number which is a prime number which has got only 1 and 3 as their factors, and none of them is a perfect square. Okay, so that is the simplest form. How about square root of 63? Let's do that one now. 63 is 7 times 9, right? 7 times 9 is 63. So we can write this as square root of 7 times square root of 9. Well, square root of 9, as you know, is 3. So we can simplify this as 3 square root of 7. So that's how we can simplify square root of 63. Now let's do 180 square root. Now 180 could be written as 9 times 2 is 18, and 18 times 10 is 180. So sometimes you may have to break down into number of factors, whichever you find convenient. Now 9 is perfect square. Square root of 9 is just the number 3. So that's fine. How about 2 times 10? 2 times 10 is 20, or we can write 10 as 2 times 5. So let's do that. So we can write this as 2 times 5. So that's another way of breaking it up. As you can see, 2 times 2 is 4. So you can always factor out 2 from here, right? So we can say, well, let me go one more step here. Square root of 9, and we can say 2 times 2 is 4. That means square root of 4 and then square root of 5. That's what we have, product of these 3. And square root of 9 is 3 times square root of 4 is 2, and we have square root of 5. 3 times 2 is 6. We can write this as 6 square root of 5. So that is the simplest form of square root of 180. This is simplest because 5 does not have any perfect square as its factor. The only factors of 5 are 1 and 5, right? None of them is a perfect square. So we say it is the simplest form. Now let's do 98. So what is 98? Factors of 98, well, it's an even number. We can divide by 2. So 2 times what is 98? 2 times 49. Well, fortunately 49 is a perfect square. 7 times 7, right? So we can write this as square root of 2 times square root of 49. Well, this step is not very necessary. Now you know you could directly write here 7 square root of 2, correct? So that is how we can factor these terms. Now, it was kind of difficult sometimes to get direct numbers, as we couldn't get here, and even here we couldn't guess 49, right? So that is possible. In such cases, just factor them. Once you factor, then you can combine the terms as we did here and get to your answer. So that is the technique which you can apply most of the time when you're dealing with big numbers, right? When the numbers are small, it's kind of easy to find a perfect square as a factor and do it. I hope you appreciate the method, and by now you must be an expert in doing it. So go through this video once again and try to see how we really simplified the radicals. Thank you.